Let me know. No, I'm home, Claire. I'm home in the rather wet Leeds. Hello, Sunita. Hello, Kathy. Do you know what, Kathy? Interestingly, I'm okay, but I'm just okay. And the title of today's session, lessons from a low mood, or lessons in a low mood. Come on, make a title now. Is going to be that. That's why I love how I'm doing these sessions now. That they are very much coming from my intuition in the moment, and they're what's emerging for me right now. Lessons in low moods, and what lessons are available in a low mood, and noticing mine today. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Thank you so much. I think it was you I sent a little message to this morning, Kathy, on the course. So hello, Martha, and welcome. First time here. Lovely to see you. Monica from Del Rio in Texas, where I bet your weather's a little bit better than ours. We had this kind of fortnight of this. Well, I say return to summer. We actually had some summer for a couple of weeks. Oh, that's lovely. It's your mum's 86th birthday. Wow, my mum's 80 next April, and we're just going to sort out a part. We're just in the process of sorting out a party for her. So yeah, 80. So welcome. And if you're new, well, just everybody gets a massive welcome, actually. It doesn't matter whether you're new or you're a regular or a return offender, as I like to call you. People who come here often to see me. And I do apologise for yesterday's live having to be cancelled. It was because we took my daughter back to university yesterday, and despite setting off at 6 o'clock in the morning, by the time we had got everything packed, unpacked, and then taken her to do the big shop, you got to do the big shop with the student daughter, haven't you? And got back to her house and then driven. We were just halfway through driving home, and we're just tired and we just wanted to get home. So I decided to postpone episode 6. I think it's episode 6 of this series called Sustainable Calm. I decided to postpone it to today, and do it today instead. I usually do a live on Monday at 3:50, Tuesday at 3:50, sometime on a Wednesday. I'm playing with the time there, and 1:11 on a Friday. But what I'd really like to do is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I may actually have a chat to my friend who I do a podcast with a friend on a Wednesday, which hasn't been launched yet, but now has loads of episodes. So I might just shuffle that around. So if you are new here, welcome. My name's Claire Downham. I'm known as the Queen of Calm. But I want you to know that I'm not calm all the time. This is very, often very raw, this space, for me and the people in it. And it's very human. And, for me, being the Queen of Calm is accepting when we're not. And I really had a lesson in that this morning, which we will talk about today. Because I wasn't feeling very good at all, actually. So we'll explore that. But there's something about this seeking journey that many of us are on, where we are always looking to feel differently. And I think that's not, there's no criticism in that. That is a normal human thing. And I think for many of us here, and let me know if this is you, it's meant that we've tried a lot of things. We've done a lot of tools and techniques. We've tried a lot of strategies. We've found ourselves trying to manage our feelings or manage stress or change our thinking and do the kind of positive thinking and affirmations and whatever else. There's so many things that we can be doing, aren't there? And much as those things are promoted to us from a very well-meaning place, they do put us into this situation where we're not okay with just feeling and experiencing life. And it ends up being a continual battle. And maybe some of you can relate to that battle, the continual seeking, the endlessly trying to find the thing that's going to make us feel better. And that being quite tiring, to say the least. So I was on that journey. So a little bit about me now. I was on that journey. Bless you, Claire, an expert at trying. I was an expert. No, come on, I'm the expert. I'll fight you for the title, Claire. We'll go head to head in the expert at trying stakes, because that's what I was doing. I burnt out in 2015. I didn't do very much the year that I burnt out. I was very poorly. But after that, I really got quite hooked into trying to fix myself and trying to have a different experience, trying to feel better, trying to be better, trying to, one of the thing I was definitely trying to make myself feel better and control my thinking, but ultimately I really also wanted to control my behavior. I've been doing the trying to control my behavior thing for many, many years, probably from when I was in single figures as a child, when I first realized that I wasn't the weight I wanted to be, and I started then trying to control myself through by dieting and exercising and things like that. At 9 years old, that started. I actually had a Felicity Kendall. Who remembers Felicity Kendall? Exercise tape, like not a video, not a DVD, a tape, a cassette with an exercise routine on it. Back in the day, when that's all you could do, really, there wasn't anything else. And I was using that when I was 9 years old, to try and be slimmer. So I'd been on that path for a very long time anyway, but I think it got a new level of depth during the few years after I burnt out. I tried lots of different things. We've talked about affirmations today. I tried meditation. I tried all kinds of journaling, gratitude journaling in particular. I read a lot of books about habits and how to have habits and better habits, and things like the 5-second rule and tiny habits and mini habits and atomic habits, and all the books that have the word small. There isn't actually a book called Small Habits, I don't think, but there's all the other words that mean small. All of those books. Did a lot of therapy, did a lot of poking around in the past, trying to find the solution there. Did a lot of did that both in talk therapy but also through hypnosis. Did a lot of hypnotherapy as well. I was a hypnotherapist, so I was, having it practiced on me and practicing it on other people. And I went round and round the houses, and I guess I was kind of okay, but it still just didn't feel like I was there. Wherever the heck there is. I mean, where is it we're trying to get to? It sometimes feels like it's some kind of nirvana, like that doesn't exist. Some kind of enlightenment of, this enlightenment space that just doesn't exist, does not exist for us humans, and yet we are being convinced that if we do enough, practice enough, all of it enough, then we'll get there. And it's just not true. And then I came across this inside out understanding in January 2020 that I shared, and the understanding known as the 3 principles. And there's more to what I share. The 3 principles is the basis of it, but this is my own take on it and my own take of what I found helpful. And I now work with women like you, ladies here. I mostly work with women. I do work with men too, so don't feel that you're excluded, men in the room who would like to experience more calm, of course, but who have tried a lot of things and have been seeking for a long time. And I feel so much love for these women because I know what it's like to be chasing and chasing and chasing. So I want you to stop having to chase anymore, to get off that self-help hamster wheel, to experience life from a place of acceptance more and more. And I do that by mentoring you, really, is what I would say. We go on a journey together. It's a bit like, I like to see it like, in The Wizard of Oz. I love The Wizard of Oz. Such a beautiful film. The good witch who supports Dorothy on her journey. That's and it's on her journey to see the truth, isn't it? And that's what I do. The truth is there's a man behind a curtain pretending to be the Wizard of Oz. Well, we've all got somebody behind our curtain pretending that what we're experiencing is reality. And really that's the journey, isn't it? And the journey that Dorothy goes on is to find that what she needed was already there the whole time, that the red shoes, the means to get home. She always was home. She always had the means to get home inside her. It was on her. It wasn't out there. She didn't need to go to Oz to find the answer. She had it with her all the time. And that's what, that's what is helpful. So let's just check in with the comments before I get cracking today. Kathy, you were feeling yucky yesterday and you went down a rabbit hole of negativity, creating more negativity. Well, hands up everybody in the room who can relate to that. Or click the heart if you can relate to what Kathy's just said there. We've all been there. I've been there today. I've done a lot of crying this morning, to be fair. Today you're letting it be what it is and you're feeling a lot calmer. That's beautiful, Kathy. That's where we're pointing to, definitely. Sunita did hypnosis work. As you bless you. I'm so sorry you're feeling down, Sunita. I'm not going to make a comment about hypnosis. For me, it was the thing that I let go of. I mean, coronavirus helped because it kind of took my hypnotherapy business because it was in person. But as well as that, I had come to the point, I think, where I feel that this is more helpful by a long shot. What do I consider midlife women? That's a good question, Yvonne. I mean, I'm going to go like, I don't know, anything over the age of about 35, probably. But interestingly, I've just finished working with a beautiful, nearly finished, I've got one more session. And I think my heart's going to break when I don't meet with this young lady. She's 18, this young lady. And we've had such a beautiful journey together. It's just been amazing. There is nobody that cannot benefit from understanding that their experience is created inside out. And it's been a pleasure working with her. So it's the whole niching thing when you're working in this kind of realm with helping people. You're supposed to have a niche, but if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, if you'd just like to experience life in a different way, if you'd like your problems to not feel so much like problems, then I'm your gal, really. And there is a link in my bio to go find out more about what I offer. So Marlene, bless you, and welcome Yvonne as well. Marlene, so accepting I don't have a job, doing all I can but letting go. Bless you. And I think, Marlene, I love what you've just said there, because we can still be purposeful, but we don't need the angst around things. We can still be purposeful. I still do things to build my business, but if it's, it's been a tricky journey, but I haven't needed to be stressed out to make that happen. It doesn't have to be that way. You can still be practical. You can still take the actions. You can still apply for jobs, but then not need to be in control of how you're feeling and how you're thinking about all that. So, Wendy, hello, my lovely. Oh, still your absolute favourite movie, The Wizard of Oz. I haven't watched it for years, actually. I may well do that, just for fun. So, Carol, that's when you do something for yourself, self-love, even if it's just a facial reading, something I've been holding on to for how long? Yeah. Oh, bless you. We're ready to spend some time with Claire. That's so lovely. Thank you. Thank you, Carol. Beautiful. You're welcome, Marlene. Yeah. I think, allowing people to help us, ladies. Who's good at that then? I'm getting better. Bruce, I was awful awful at it in my previous relationship, but Bruce is amazing. You'll get to meet Bruce if you're new here. You might not get to actually meet him, although some people have, because once I got him to put his head through the door and he said hello. He's my fiance, by the way, and he is great looking after me. The only trouble is with men, isn't it? You know, when you're just upset for no apparent reason, like because it's a new moon or a full moon, or apparently at the moment is Mercury in retrograde. I think it is. That's what's just finishing, isn't it? And I've been really emotional the last few weeks. I don't know if it's because Mercury is in retrograde or what. I don't know. But he doesn't get, men don't get it, do they? They go, what can I do? He must have said this when I was crying. And he must have said, what can I do? About 20 times. Can't do anything, darling. Just hold me. But what can I do? What can I do? You can't do anything. There's nothing to do. And that's it, isn't it? There is nothing to do. Oh, Claire, bless you. Your supervisor is worrying about your adult children. Oh, have major mental health problems. Bless you, Claire. I hope you know, it's interesting, isn't it? Adult children. I can really relate to that. You know, even when they're adults, they're still your babies, aren't they? And you still want them to be okay. Totally understand. And Violet used to have a hard time accepting help. Yeah, that's because we misheard the call to action, ladies. The call to action was, you can do anything. And we heard you can do everything. We just misheard it. It isn't you can do everything. You can do anything. Choices, not do everything. Please. That is not the call to action. We're not supposed to step out of the home and just do everything. So it's Violet's until the 15th. We'll roll on the 15th. Lots of retrogrades. Oh, Hannah, no more, thank you. I think I've had enough. And Carol, the tears. Yeah, we may have a cry today. It's okay, ladies. I like a cry. It's good for you. Yes, I would say Kathy's, lots of tears. We'll have a laugh as well, though, today, ladies, if we can. We can cry and laugh at the same time. I think you'll find I can tell a joke while crying. There we go. I can laugh at myself crying as well. And Sunita, you've been crying too. Oh, lots of love for everybody. Sometimes sitting with someone in silent support helps the most. That's beautiful, Lisa. Yeah. Maybe sometimes I should just do the session where we just all sit in silence. I'm not sure I can keep quiet for that long. The quiet expectations. Laughing and crying is great, Susan. It is absolutely. So I should have not put mascara on. Never mind. It could be trickling down my face bit by bit today. But never mind. Let's not worry too much about that. Just let me. So let's get cracking with today's subject. So I'm going to tell you a little story about my day today. So yesterday we took my daughter back to university, and some of you have been following this story. It's like a little update, isn't it? But under 2 weeks ago, my daughter's boyfriend, who she was supposed to be moving into this house that we moved into yesterday, dumped her. And they were supposed to be moving in together yesterday. Well, Sophie was moving yesterday. I think he was going to move in next week or at the weekend or something. So suddenly Sophie was thrust into this space where not only had her boyfriend, after 20 months, just dumped her out of the blue. To her, she was in real shock. She was in a real state. And not only that, but she was in an absolute blind panic when I first spoke to her about it, because she couldn't see what was going to happen with the house. She thought she was going to be homeless. Where was she going to live at university? Where was he going to live? What they were going to do? How could they still live together? And she decided that would be far too awkward, understandably, I think. And so she was very, very upset. And I think I came on the call, was it Friday the 1st, I think, of September. I came on to do my live, carrying a bit of the burden of this experience of my daughter splitting up with her boyfriend. And so we've been on but I wasn't here. She was here. She was coming back to Leeds, I think, on that Friday, and picked up by her dad. But I was in Aberdeen, and I only came back from Aberdeen on Friday. Friday's just gone. So I had a week of not being able to be there for her. And, you know, as a mum, you hear your daughter crying, and actually she was in so much shock, she was actually sick because she was in such a panic. And she's not a panicky person, but I just think that the shock of it combined with all the thinking about what she's going to do and where she's going to live. And so yesterday we finally dropped off, and she's just been amazing. I can believe her resilience, because I just can see it in her shining. I can see it in everybody, even when other people can't see it. And so we moved her in yesterday, and then last night I had horrible dreams. Not about Sophie, actually. You'd think they'd be about her, but they were not about her. There were some really weird dreams about rejection. They were all about rejection, actually. About people, my mother and my fiance rejected me. Really strange. In a really strange, like, connected up weird story. And I don't normally have very vivid dreams, and I don't normally get caught up in them. But yeah, I did. I really did get very caught up. And I woke up this morning. So this is where we're really going to get into the concept here of the, you know, of this idea of what happens when we're in lessons in low moods. I woke up this morning just feeling dreadful. Like, I woke up quite a bit before Bruce, but I did not want to get out of bed. I did not have any desire to get up, and I'm normally quite an early morning person. I get up, I tend to do some exercise, and I brush my teeth when I first wake up. And I didn't want to do any of that. In fact, I just I'm reading a trashy, not trashy novel, actually, the lovely books. There's an author called Millie Johnson, and I love her books. They're so light-hearted. They're lovely. Some of them are quite emotional. This particular story I've been reading is all about a group of pregnant women who meet through like a prenatal group thing, and it's all their individual stories and what they're going through. And some of the characters are characters I've come across in other books by this lady. And that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to read my book, and now, so this is where I would have previously gone into some kind of beating myself up for not getting up and getting on with the day and not doing my day right, in my, in Claire's rule book of right. And I noticed that I didn't buy into that story. I mean, what if it is okay to wake up in a low mood? What if that is a gift? And I noticed that, that, my body was saying it wasn't, I was due to do a strength training workout this morning. Body said no to that. And I normally do 16/8 fasting. And I ate porridge, which might not sound that revolutionary to most people. You ate porridge in the morning, that's not such a big deal. However, I was so stuck in the 16/8 fasting thing that previously I would not have, my body was crying out for food. Now, I don't know if part of my low mood was low blood sugar, actually, because we didn't eat very well yesterday because we were just traveling so much and moving stuff, and we didn't really have much opportunity to eat properly. And Bruce woke up hungry as well, and so it made sense to me this morning to make a cup of tea. I didn't even drink my water first this morning, to make a cup of tea and eat a bowl of porridge with some blueberries and banana in. And I did that, and then I just felt a little bit better, and then I managed to get up, and then I got up and got a shower. But without the story of what I was without the story of the low mood being wrong, the low mood being a problem, the low mood being a sign that there was something wrong with me, without all of that, my intuition led me to do things that made sense. So my intuition led me to, go and eat something. Then it was like, yeah, I'm ready now to brush my teeth and get a shower. Yeah, I have done all those things. But just not in my normal order. Now, and this is where this to me is true self-care. So this is the first lesson of a low mood is maybe we need them sometimes to make us stop and slow down and take care of ourselves. Because my God, ladies, how much are we just rushing about like lunatics? Doing, and pushing ourselves to do. And then thinking we still haven't done enough and doing some more. So maybe, this life should be called the gift of low moods. Because I had a busy day, I had moved my daughter to Wales on, it's a good 3-hour journey. Moved her, took her shopping, done all that stuff, helped her to unpack, and then drove all the way back again. I say Bruce drove, but it was a long day. And, we got up at 5:30 and didn't get home until, I think it was gone 6 o'clock in the evening. It was a long day. And maybe what I needed today was slow, not jumping out of bed and doing a workout. Slowly. And maybe I was hungry and my body said, hey. And maybe my body doesn't think I'll stop unless it actually shouts loud enough. Because I'm like the rest of you, doing too much, thinking that moving and doing things is the answer all the time. But imagine if I'd woken up in that low mood and I thought it was a problem. Tell me some of the things you've done to try and get out of a low mood. I might have forced myself to do some kind of practice or some kind of tool or something. In the past, I would have, right, it's affirmation time, then I'm going to shout out how I want to feel many, many times, and then I'll feel better. But maybe that's not what I needed. Maybe the lesson in that low mood was slowly today. Slowly today. And I did in fact cancel a couple of meetings this morning. I cancelled a networking meeting, neither here nor there, and another meeting that can wait. It's not vitally important, because I needed to look after myself and I needed to go slowly today. And as the day's gone on, I've livened up a bit, and I've been for a lovely coffee with a lady who I'm networking, and I've had a lovely catch up with a man I've known in business for goodness, probably about 7 years now. And it's all okay. There's nothing wrong with us having a low mood. And goodness gracious, ladies, how much do we need to see that? Because I don't know about you, but I am not like this energetically or emotionally. I'm not like this. I don't know if you notice that you men are. Men are much more stable. And my fiance seems to get up every day and he's mystified by this mood swinging thing. He just finds it confusing. That's why he always wants to do something. Like what can I do? What can I do to help? He always says, I want to know what I can do. And I say, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing to do. It's just particularly part of the human female experience. Who knows what it is? Who knows whether I'm hormonal or it's some kind of retrograde or whatever? It doesn't really matter. None of that matters. It's fun to have fun conversations about that lightly. But maybe it's just what was needed. Maybe I needed a lesson today. Maybe I needed to remember that sometimes my body needs food in the morning, and to tune into that more clearly. To just tune in. Because how often do we slow down enough to tune in to what our body needs? And your body is so wise. It's so wise. It's always going to be in the present moment. Your body doesn't time travel unless you are actually Doctor Who or some other time traveling characters are available. There's one in the Marvel, isn't there? What's his name? Doctor Strange. Is it called Doctor Strange? It is. So that's one of the first lessons for me of our state of mind is, what's the information in it? What lessons do we need to learn? And one of them might be just slow down. So I'm gonna say hello to all those people who've just recently arrived, and then I'm gonna go into the chat and see what's coming up there before we go on to the next bit that I want to say. Oh, bless you. Oh, Monica, that's beautiful because your mum's been going through cancer treatments, so celebrating her birthday is such a gift. She's had a cell transplant, so it's been quite the journey. Feeling so grateful every day is definitely, that's beautiful, Monica. Beautiful. And yeah, people are grateful for you sharing that. Oh, bless you, Jackie. Your boss has a daily morning meeting at 9 a.m. where he has a counselling session with us every morning about how anxious and overwhelmed he is. Would you like to refer him to me? That would be good. You feel trapped because you can't refuse a meeting. It's teaching you patience and how to be present with other people's anger and fear without absorbing it. That's beautiful, Jackie. And we can do that. We don't need to absorb anything from it. We can't actually absorb feelings from other people. We can end up thinking about how other people are being, and then we feel that. Absolutely. And as a person who all day, every day, Jackie deals with people's upsets, that's a lot of what comes into my world when I'm working with clients. Being present is the thing, to notice when we're thinking again about that thing that happened in the morning meeting. We're noticing that we're starting to feel uncomfortable, or we're noticing in the meeting that our thinking, I can hear that you're just being present with what is there then when it's actually happening, and realizing that you don't actually need to stay with that afterwards. And that's what I have to do all day, every day. Otherwise, I would carry the emotion and the thinking from one session with a client into another session with a client, and that wouldn't be fair on the next client, the subsequent clients, if I'm carrying all the stuff from previous clients. I literally, this, and don't mean this in an awful way, but I literally forget about people until the next session, and then I remind myself about what journey we're on together, and I start the next session. I don't carry any of that with me, not anymore, because it's not helpful to anybody. It's not helpful to me, it's not helpful to the clients, definitely not. Lots of love for you, Monica, in the chat. I can see. Yeah, Lisa, that negativity rabbit hole really is hard to climb out of. But maybe we don't have to climb out of it so much. Maybe we just sit in it and wait until the ground rises up and lifts us back up there itself. Or a rope just gets dangled down that we can grasp hold of. Don't have to actually do it ourselves. Hello, Anami. You've just made it, and you said, "Oh, Anami, that's so wonderful." I feel like that's magic, isn't it, when that happens? When you come into a session and you find that somebody just says the right thing at the right time that you need to hear. Lots of beautiful love for each other in the comments as well. That's lovely. Yeah, your husband's a fixer also, Wendy. Yeah, can't stand the days when you just need rest or quiet. Yeah, and there's nothing. I think it's understanding that there's nothing to do. But I think we also need to learn that too, don't we? It can seem so often like there's some, well, how do I get out of this? And you wonder, don't you, like, what is the driver for us to get out of the low movements? Because we think we're supposed to be doing something. We think we're not doing it right. We're not being busy enough, or we're not being efficient enough, or we're not doing something, helpful in that regard. So I love all the love for Monica in the chat and her mum and her mum's birthday. Beautiful. Thank you so much, everybody. Yeah, that's one of the things I love about this beautiful space, is that there's so much support for each other. So thank you so much for that. Do say hello if you've not said hello yet. Let me know where in the world you are and what brought you here today. And let me know if you're new, or whether you're somebody who's a repeat offender, we like to call them, people who come regularly. And just before I go on to the next little part, just remember that there's 5 courses on here now that you can dip into to explore this understanding. And once you've listened to them, you can listen to them again, and that is something I really do recommend. I have checked with Insight Time, and that is definitely the case. Once you've listened, you can listen again. And what was I going to say? Yeah, and I've got lots of free tracks as well. I'm not adding so much for the free track library now because it's huge, and I'm going to focus more on the lives and stuff rather than making loads and loads of free content. Letting more things go out of my life, which is something something helpful. So it's really interesting. Let's go on to the next bit about the lessons in our low moods. So thank you, Jennifer. Lovely to meet you from Washington State. Oh, thank you. Thank you. My voice is soothing. That's so lovely. And you came because of the title. Yes, sustainable calm. And the lessons from low moods. So a few weeks ago, maybe it was a week or so, a couple of weeks ago, I had a very similar experience of having one of these low moods, but this one was a bit more grumpy and negative, actually, which was interesting. So Anami, I've just today, it's like my YouTube channel is actually open in another window, but Anami, yes, I have uploaded a load onto YouTube today, and I'll hopefully try and get this one up as soon as possible. So please do, you can catch up with them there. So I hope you manage to do that if you need to leave. So I was in a low mood like this the other week, and oh my goodness, it was my head was so noisy. Like, it's a miracle Bruce is still here, because I was just my head was just like full of ways of oh, thank you so much, Mommy. Oh, I love 111. That's so cute. Violet will like that too. She likes the numbers. I was in this really low mood, and my head was just full of smashing up my life. Like, my businesses are crap. My business is crap. I'm not sure about Bruce. Do I really want to be with Bruce? He's really annoying. Is he all right for me? Is he the right person? Really negative, really like big decision stuff. I think I'm just going to sell the house, and I'm going to I'm going to I'm going to go off to Spain and live in my motorhome on my own. And it was just like this. It was like this toxic dump had been left in my head. Like, it was just and the weekend so that the main kind of low mood bit was the Monday and Tuesday, but the weekend I was just foul tempered. I'm not like an angry person, but I was just critical. Poor Bruce couldn't literally be breathing wrong. I mean, was doing everything wrong. And we were on this walk. We went on this really long walk. We walked 24 miles in one day. Looking for, I think I showed people the hares. We were looking for the hares in Aberdeen. They have this, it's finished now. The Aberdeen hare trail thing has finished now. It was for charity, and you could go round Aberdeen and find all these big, like human-sized statues of hares that had all been painted. was absolutely beautiful. It was a really lovely, fun thing to do, to go find them all. Oh, but we were snipping at each other. I was really, really grumpy, and I was critical, and it was horrible. And I kept apologising. I kept saying, I'm really sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm really critical. It was just a hard day, really. We were just falling out all the time. And it was me. I was being so critical. And and then these 2 days of low mood and me thinking, oh God, is Bruce the right person for me? And what have I done? And so much of my life is tied up with him. What will I do if I want to split with him? Oh God, it was just ridiculous. But this is the thing. I knew I was in a low mood. And you know what about thinking when you're in a low mood? It's not very trustworthy. It's really interesting, actually, that I used to have a client who was who was a Mormon. He was in the Latter-day Saints, the Church of the Latter-day Saints, and he would call it, he would call that thinking, he would call it the devil. He would say it was Satan. And my God, was my thinking like that? I mean, it was awful. It was awful, awful thinking. Now, I know that in my life I have made decisions, changes, I've done things, I've said things, I've behaved as a result of this low mood thinking in the past, because I didn't know. I would have thought in the past, before I came across this inside understanding, that low mood was because Bruce was being annoying. So therefore the solution would seem to be to get rid of Bruce, wouldn't it? To not have that horrible feeling anymore. But now I know that my low mood is coming from my state of mind. It's coming from my thinking. I feel low and grumpy and just because I've got low and moody and thinking. It's not the truth. And it was really interesting because I think it was probably by later on Tuesday, it was like a cloud cleared across my head. And I went, there we go. I love Bruce again. It's fine. He's great for me. I want to stay with him. It was just so interesting to see. It's interesting to see, isn't it? And that's another lesson from your low mood, is it's letting you know that your thinking is dodgy, very dodgy. That's why it feels rubbish, because you are always feeling thought in the moment. You are not feeling the other person. You're not feeling their behaviour. You're not feeling that annoying thing they keep doing. Because we've all got, come on, ladies in the room, we've all got something, haven't we? Something annoying they do. We wish they'd stop doing that. I know. Come on, you could just click the heart if you've got a partner of whatever gender, to be fair, who just has, if they just stop doing that thing they keep doing, if they just stop doing that thing, it'll all be fine. But it isn't really that thing that's causing the problem. It's our thinking about that thing. And when we know that, we can navigate through that thought shower of negative blare. We can navigate through that so much easier. And we don't have to take it seriously, because it isn't serious. It's just yada 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 in our heads. That's all. It's nothing to do about that. So thank you, Anami. Yes, I am very human. Jennifer's been there many times. And Anami says, it's been happening a lot for me, despite the ways in which I've further evolved. Try to remind myself and asking myself, what are you feeling in this moment? What are you finding or creating evidence of? Oh, beautiful, Anami. Absolutely. Because, of course, when we're in that low mood, the thing we don't like about our partner or whatever, life, circumstance, doesn't really matter what it is, it all just looks bigger and uglier, doesn't it, than it really is, because that's what the mind does. The mind creates the reality. The projection is happening. There is no, you are not a camera. You are not seeing reality. You are seeing your reality, your projection. And you're seeing that through your separation. So of course, when we're in a low mood, that thing the person does, or that circumstance that seems really annoying, that we need to escape from, looks really bad. Because all the time we're deleting, distorting, generalizing, as they say in NLP, but it makes sense from this conversation too. The mind, absolutely right, Kathy, the mind plays tricks all the time. So Jackie, you're doing the same with your partner. You keep questioning, but we keep coming back together. It's helped me tune into your inner wisdom instead of relying on him to be my rock. I release him from saving me from my negative thoughts about myself. That's beautiful, Jackie. I love that. Wendy, you're finding it extremely relatable. Anybody with another heart probably does. Also, when it takes particularly strong hold of you and armor, you try to lean into this part of the human experience, and you came here to experience a wide array of human experience, and the problem isn't the problem, but the thinking around it is more so. Well, the thinking around it isn't more so, it just is 100% so. There is nothing else. There is no experience but that which is thought created. It's our entire human experience. You cannot experience life without the power of these three principles: thought, consciousness, and universal mind. They are your experience. That's how it's created. So Claire, when you see your mood is based on your thinking, you can't seem to change your thinking, especially around worry. So that's something, Claire, to take off your plate. This is great. I'm so glad you've raised this, because I think that's what people often hear from me, is that when I'm saying your feelings are coming from your thinking, then positive psychology and all those other things say, well, then just change your thinking and you'll have a better feeling. But what we're doing there is we're in a low mood. Let's say we're in a low mood or we're worrying. And then in that low mood and that low state of mind, we're going to try and change our thinking. But it's thought trying to change thought from the same level of consciousness. So it's that thing, is it Einstein who says, madness is trying to doing the same thing and expecting different results. So we're in a state of mind, a low state of mind, and then we're looking at our low state of mind thinking, and we're trying to change it with our low state of mind thinking. So it's like if we're in an elevator, it's like we're down in the basement with all the rats and the rubbish that's in the basement. I mean, I don't have a basement, but let's imagine, it's under a big building, horrible, dirty basement. And we're in this low mood, and we're down in the basement trying to find a lighter feeling, trying to find something nicer. And by doing that, we've stepped out of the great glass elevator, and we're like down in the rubbish, turning over all the rubbish to try and find a better feeling. And of course, there's no better feeling there. It's just not there. It doesn't exist down there. In the meantime, what's possible for us as human beings is a simple rising consciousness, a rising up of the great glass elevator, waiting. Many people have talked today about waiting for that to pass, because it's like I'm going to say the clouds that are blowing across the sky. I do think they are moving now. I've been here all day. About time. They left the clouds, but it's like there's a movement. That movement is happening. That lift is going up. It's going up. You try and change your thinking. You're going to hold it in place. You're going to hold yourself down in the base. Ah, Kathy, that's lovely. You had an aha moment from that my course. Thank you, Kathy. So it's not about changing your thinking. However, when you start to realize, Claire, that the worry is what's creating all of your suffering, you will choose to stop. And this is, I'm not going to do it to you. I don't know where my ruler is. Oh, this is a very ineffective ruler to do this with, really. But I don't know where my big one is, because my box has come out of the van. It's a bit hidden in here. I found the pencil better because it's black and you can actually see it. You can see the clear ruler, but it's as if I'm doing this on my head, and I'm telling you, do you know what? I've got an awful headache. I've actually got a headache today. I've got an awful headache. Can't get rid of the headache. It won't go away. And I've tried everything. I've been inhaling lavender oil, and I've been getting more sleep and drinking loads of water, and I've been for walks in fresh air and not even having caffeine, and I can't get rid of my headache. And the headache's just right here at this side of my head. I don't have a headache at this side of my head at all. It's really strange. I don't know why I've just got. I just wish I could get rid of it. Trying everything to get rid of it. Like changing my thinking. I'm trying to get rid of it. But of course, all I need to do is stop hitting myself on the head with a pencil. This is thinking. Thank you, Monica. Take care. This is the thinking. I'm hitting myself on the head with it. And it hurts. I'm feeling that. In my body in some way. And I'm sure, Kathy, we can all relate to what worrying feels like. How that feels, that physical sensation feels in our body. You just know when to stop. And the more you look in this direction, the more you see those thoughts and feelings differently. That's it. Once you see them differently, it makes less and less sense to try and change your thinking. And what generally then happens is we stop. We just stop. We realise where the suffering's coming from and we stop. It's normally done with a ruler, that. Like, as I say, I can't find my ruler. So much clutter in my little box. I need to tidy it up. Thank you so much, Anami. Thank you. I'm grateful for all of your presences. No. I'm grateful for your presence too, everybody. That's a better sentence, isn't it? Eventually it just makes sense. And trust me, I don't see it either. I was talking last week about this situation with somebody sending Bruce and I a message, Bruce and I getting very, very caught up in that message, sending quite angry replies, more replies coming back, going back and forth, and us not seeing it until one of, I think, I can't remember if it's me or him, just went, oh, what we're doing, we need to stop. We're in a really poor state of mind and we're sending messages, we're sending thoughts, because that's what a message is, isn't it, on WhatsApp? It's just your thoughts spewing out of you. And we were in a low mood and we didn't spot it, and so we ended up in an argument with somebody we didn't need to be in an argument with. Really, it's just silly. But again, the low mood was useful when we saw it. Once we saw it and we stopped and we put our phone, I put my phone down, we put our phones down and just went, oh, we need to stop. This is not, we need to calm down, both of us. We're not calm. We're dealing with this from a very not calm place. We sat down, Bruce and I, and we had such a fantastic conversation about what that was about. What is it about this person's behaviour? This person as regularly has similar kind of behaviour. And we both had this realisation that we don't like being told what to do. We've both in our careers risen up the ladder, to management positions. He was a head chef for 21 years. I was a head teacher, and I was desperate to be a head teacher and be in school leadership right from when I started my career. And I now run my own business because we don't like being told what to do. And this person we're having a difficulty with keeps telling us what to do. And we have this realization, we don't like it. And we react to it. And it was really enlightening. Once we were calm, we couldn't have had this conversation when we weren't calm. Once we were calm, we just went, oh, look at that. Look at that thing about us. We don't like being told what to do. And so when somebody tells us what to do, or even sounds like they're telling us what to do, because of course how we interpret it is everything. How we, our perspective on somebody else's words, look like somebody's telling us what to do. Even if they look a bit like that, Bruce and I lose the plot. Another lesson from one of those lower moods. They help you to see what you're, I spoke on Friday, I think it was on Friday, about being triggered. The trigger is from within. It's not from without. It's not from out there. It isn't from other people or situations or circumstances. Doesn't work that way. But we can start to see ourselves better. And then we can start to notice, because this is just about noticing. It's about awareness. We can start to notice. And you have that, Claire. You have this awareness. I know I have, a thing about worrying about my kids. Welcome to being, I think that's just a mummy thing, isn't it, really? We all, Like Sophie's now living on her own in this house in Wales, 3 hours away. And don't think I haven't got some thinking about that, because I flipping have. And she's just messaged just before I came on the call. She messaged to say she's just got a job at a restaurant. She loves working in hospitality, so I'm really pleased for her. And then I'm going, but she's going to be going home late at night. How's she going to get home? What her hour's going to be? How's she going to get home safely? How will I know she's got home safe? I'm starting to go, don't think I don't have that thinking too, Claire. I do have it. And it's okay. As long as I don't behave from that place. As long as I don't think I can fix anything from that state of mind. As long as I don't think that's my really high quality thinking. Because it flipping isn't. It isn't. It's my really quite rubbishy thinking. Dire, actually. Really not very good at all. And when I know that, I know to wait until I'm calmer. I was thinking about Sophie being on her own in the house, and I did think to myself, when I was feeling calm about it, I just thought, maybe we could help her to get one of these remote burglar alarms. So that she's got, so when she's in the house and she's in bed, there's an alarm there. So that crossed my mind as something that we could do to help her. So it's, when we're calm, we will find ways to help the people we love and we care about. We will find solutions to our situations, but we won't do well at that when we're not in a good state of mind. When we're in one of those moods, we can't trust our thinking. And it's so helpful to know that. So, so helpful. So just bear with me while I just mention to Bruce that he's quite noisy in the kitchen. 1 moment, please. Hi, Bunny. Okay, if you look down that end of the kitchen. Oh, I'm still really noisy. What about the cauliflower? Bless him. Russ, yeah, he's making my meal, Kathy, because I am actually blessed by a man who makes my food. I live with an ex-chef. I don't know what to say, ladies. I am just the luckiest woman on the planet. He's making smoked haddock cauliflower risotto. It's lovely. And it's one of those low carb things. But he has to, has anybody made cauliflower rice? What a messy job that is. But he has to kind of grate it through the food processor. So he's going to go do that in the lounge so that we don't all have to listen to it. Yeah, he's rustling. Kathy wants to come round for tea. but you will hear him rustling. It's part of the way. It's part of the way you know that he's a real person. He always, you know, he's a real person. Brilliant. Yes, it is. It's nice, Carol. And I do make meals. When we were in the motorhome the last couple of weeks, he was at work every day, so I did make the evening meal. Sometimes I made it quite early and then reheated it, but yeah, I did make the meals. So I can cook. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, I've been awake since 3 o'clock, Sue, so I think my yawning is permissible. I'm going to say. My sleep, because I had this awful, I don't know if you hear Sue when I was saying, this awful nightmare. I'm going to call it a nightmare. I don't think it was. It was more than a dream. It was not nice. It was not nice at all. Really. It was all about rejection. Really interesting. I don't know what that was about. Cauliflower rice does get everywhere, Hannah. Super messy, isn't it? Just like, well, cauliflower itself, even if you chop a cauliflower, you're looking around and there's flipping cauliflower everywhere, isn't it? I feel like that should be a metaphor for something, but I don't know what it is. Maybe it's maybe it's a bit like how messy our thinking is when we're in a low mood. It's a bit like cauliflower rice. It gets everywhere. And we tend to, you probably notice when you're in a low mood, well, you kind of have this scattergun approach to life. Right, I'll do that, then I'll do that and that and that and that and that. And you feel like you've got to do a lot. And I think that's what I reflected on in this low mood from this morning, is that I didn't feel this urge, this drive to do something about it. Bruce found that quite difficult because he's a man and they think they can fix you. But I didn't feel the urge to do anything about it. I just let it be. And as a result of that, I'm still a bit emotional, but I'm better than I was. Sorry, I need to blow my nose. Luckily, I have a very handy mute button on my mic, which means you don't have to listen to me blowing my nose, which could be pretty unpleasant, really. So we've got 92 people who've been and gone or are here. I don't really know how it works. I think it says 92, but I don't think 92 people are actually here right now. Well, that would be cool if they would, but they've been and gone, I think, some people. Whoops. Obviously, it was a cauliflower rice conversation that drove them away. So let me know if you haven't said hello yet. If you feel like saying hello, then I would love it. Can I recommend a book? What particular kind of thing? What kind of book, Claire? Just a basic kind of inside-out understanding book. Let me just So The Enlightened Gardener. Oh, you're reading Painless. Well, she's lovely. Hannah Studley. I read that a few years ago. Good book. Her recent book, which is called Very Well. It's called Very Well. Is also lovely. But I've met her. I've met her in person. She sat with me while I cried because she made me cry in her talk. I've hosted her twice on the Three Principles Conference. So in 2021, it was on Zoom, was the Three Principles Conference, and I hosted her room then. And it was great, her talk. But the second year, 2022, when it was an in-person conference in London, she spoke about what was the word she used? Controlling, supervising, monitoring, and controlling. She talked about that in terms of her burnout, her experience of burnout, something like that. And it really hit me hard, did that, because I know that when I burnt out, that's why I burnt out, because I was trying to control the outside world to make myself feel okay. But then I had this kind of realization that I was still doing it. But she was lovely after the talk. I was like crying. I was supposed to be hosting the room. I sat there crying. And luckily there were other people helping out with that. And she just sat with me afterwards for a while and listened to me while I had a good cry. And it was really good. She was lovely. She's lovely. So Jackie, you mentioned an opposite mantra, affirmation mantra can help. Like, I am always here for myself and I won't let myself go. Yeah, I mean, affirmations, if you find affirmations helpful, I have nothing against them. However, this conversation here is about doing nothing. And realizing that everything that is truly us and truly our essence is underneath thought, and affirmations are thought too. And for me, I felt like they just added more noise to my system. I tend to think that, I tend to see this essence of who we are, this innate well-being, if you like to call it, innate resilience, confidence, this connection to universal energy is the essence of who we are. And that anything that is thought related, whether that is what's already in there or us trying to put extra stuff in, is additive and putting more layers over our essence and over who we really are, and then stopping us from connecting to that more deeply. So what we're pointing to here is very much subtractive. It's what doesn't need to be there. And mostly thought doesn't need to be there, no matter what kind of thinking it is. Anything that's in our thinking is more thinking, and it's tends to just hide our well-being more and more. Thank you, Jackie, and thank you, Claire, for that lovely donation. Thank you so much. Always grateful for those lovely donations. They are so well received by me, and I know Insight Timer too, in terms of keeping this. Lots of content on this platform is still free to people, and I realise a lot of you here are subscribers too, but the fact that there's a place for people to come to listen to content like this is really beautiful, in whatever content it is that people find helpful. There is a space like this for people to come to. It's just amazing. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be a teacher on here and to be able to share with such a lovely group as you. It really means a lot. So thank you for the donations today, and if anybody else is able to make a donation, thank you so much. So I'll just pause and say hello. Has anybody got anything else they would like to share? So Claire, the Enlightened Gardener, is a Sydney Banks book, and Sydney Banks was the originator of the Three Principles of Understanding. So he's definitely somebody to read, and his books are beautiful. I kind of feel like I might want to write a book like that, but they are stories. They're stories of people's, that they're written like stories, but with the teachings of the Three Principles kind of woven into them, shall we say. And so they're really easy to read. The Painless Author, just bear with me. Oh, I'm in the box. Oh, if I can type, that'll be lovely. There we go. So it's pronounced Hannah, because she's from Israel, so she's Hannah Studley. She's lovely. She's written 3 books. I can't remember what the name of the other one is. There's Painless, there's Very Well, is the most recent one, Very Well. If you are a very midlife woman who is going through this glorious change known as the menopause, then I recommend Very Well. Or if you are struggling with any other hormonal shenanigans, shall we call them, the story Very Well involves 3 women, a mother. Well, initially these 3 women, a mother and 2 daughters. So the mother is going through the menopause. One of the daughters has horrendous PMT symptoms, and the other daughter is struggling with postnatal depression. And how much of that is created by thought is just so interesting, and this book really speaks to that. And also, she takes Freud to pieces in the book, and I quite like it, because unfortunately our entire model of psychological help is built on Freud. And unfortunately, it turns out he's probably a bit of a charlatan. And so all the talk therapy stuff, which I'm sure much of which is really helpful to people, but it's all built on something that isn't really true. So that's really interesting, Sue, because I just saw your lovely comment about Hannah. Hannah started having videos and stuff on the internet, on YouTube, and it was there and then it disappeared. So did you remove it, or is it just insight time? Can everybody else still see it and I can't? I don't know. I've had that happen before. I've seen a comment from somebody and I've been about to go back to the comment, and then I'm like, where's the comment gone? It's very strange. The mysteries of technology, aren't they fun, folks? They do keep us in a place of mystery, don't they? But part of the fun of dealing with technology on a daily basis. So, anything else? Yeah. Oh, maybe it was. Oh, because they've got AI, haven't they? Kind of. That's better, Sue. Now I want to see if your comment disappears, Wendy, because you said it. You said that word. So will yours disappear now? She has many free videos available. Thank you, Sue, but I think that might be why. That might be just... No, you can't delete your comments, so it must be Insight Timer who did that. Anyway, that'll be done by some magical algorithm which will have certain phrases and words that it removes. Luckily, I can say them. So definitely look up the 3 principles on, possibly, the why word. I think I can say it, but anyway, we can't deny its existence, can we? Really? So, there's loads of 3 principles teachers out there. And what I would say to you, I love that you all turn up and listen to me rambling on about the inside out understanding. But I think there's something to be said for accessing a broad range of different teachers around this, and how much you can get out of that is really, really cool. So, thank you, Claire. Take care. Thank you so much for being here. We have been here for an hour and a bit now. I'm gonna just wait till Bruce says he's ready to feed me, and then I'm gonna go and get fed. Because why not? Is my thoughts on that. So I was just checking because I think I had a client who might want to talk to me after this, but I don't think she's got back to me. So that's okay. She doesn't want to talk to me today. That's good. I don't have to dash off to go talk to her. So yeah, any other lessons that you've had from your low moods? What else do you know about low moods? What else have you noticed? I think what's coming to mind, while you're thinking about that, I'll share something else. You know that how many times have we acted from a low mood and then gone, oops, the daisy, oh dear, that's not quite worked out. Yeah, Maggie. Sometimes your low mood can be low blood sugar. I am not unsure that didn't affect me this morning, having not really eaten very well yesterday. And I also think that a sensation in our body, or a low mood feeling, is the story, isn't it? Like I've gone into the story a little bit this morning, so I was like, because I went on Instagram and there was a post about Mercury in retrograde, and I was like, oh, it could be that then. I best look up Mercury in retrograde and see what that's about, and if that means that I should have a low mood, then maybe it's that. I got a bit caught up in the story, but it is the story, isn't it, that I think I told you before that I had a client once who came into a group coaching session, a free session that I do, and he said he felt terrible. He was really anxious, and then as we got talking, we realised he hadn't had anything to eat all day, and it was like 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. And so while I was on the call, I said, "Go and get some food." And he took his phone with him, and off he went to make some food. And he made some food, and he had something to eat, and he felt loads better. And what he'd done is he'd misinterpreted the feeling in his stomach as butterflies in his stomach, rather than his stomach going, grind, grind, I'm hungry, you need to feed me. And so it's realizing that these, if we've got a sensation, like an uncomfortable sensation, we're in low mood thinking, and then we're trusting that thinking to tell us what that sensation actually is. Well, who knows? Who knows what that who knows what that sensation is? It's energy, isn't it? And who knows really where it's coming from? It's just energy. So you may have a point there, Maggie. Yeah, I think sometimes I think we don't need the story about it. We don't need the story. But when we sit with it and we're okay with it, we may well feel like this morning, rather than exercising, it made sense to me to eat a bowl of porridge with banana and blueberry in it. It's very nice, actually. I've got these little stevia drops that you can get that just, I have the vanilla ones. I had the vanilla one. We have vanilla, chocolate, and caramel. They're quite nice for just dropping into your coffee or your tea. And they're very nice in the porridge this morning. I have vanilla flavoured porridge, but they're just stevia and vanilla. Nice. And they're in little bottles, so they're very good for the motorhome because they're just like a little dropper. Not like the liquids you can get for coffee and stuff. They're quite a big bottle, whereas these are just little droppers. They're quite cool. Oh, Maggie, bless you. You're beautiful, Maggie. Oh, low mood is result. Poor big body image, waking, looking in the mirror and just thinking, oh, Maggie, you're beautiful. You can't not be beautiful. We're all perfect. But don't think I don't do that sometimes too, with my middle-aged body, which has spread, shall we say, over the last few years. It's definitely spread that way. This bit not so much so, but down here, that's the bit you don't get to see. Yeah, Kathy, you're right. They're transient. Thoughts and feelings. Behaviours too, transient. If you don't feed them, it's all part of a normal human experience. And can you imagine that there's a beautiful Sydney Banks quote, and the quote is, I think it's from The Missing Link. That's his only kind of, what's the word? Not serious book, non-fiction book. All these other books that are written like fiction. And it's, if the only thing that people learned was not to be afraid of their experience, that alone would change the world. It's not the experience, it's the fear of it. It's not the experience, it's the story. It's not the feeling, it's thinking we're not supposed to have that feeling and we need to get rid of it, and why aren't we getting rid of it? And it's not the thoughts, it's the fact that we think we should be able to have better thinking, change it for positive thinking. It's not our behaviour, it's that we judge our behaviour as wrong. It's not other people's behaviour, it's that we judge other people's behaviour as wrong. There is no nothing other than what we're adding to it in terms of our experience. Yeah, so Hannah, you noticed that social media continues to bring you into a low mood, so you deleted them and only checking your messages, and that's helped your low energy and moods. Well, that's a cool observation, Hannah. But also cool to know, and this doesn't mean go back on social media, it's cool to know that it's not social media. It's our relationship with social media. Because if it really was social media, nobody'd be on it, would they? Yeah, nobody would be on it. It'd be done. Wouldn't that be good? Because it's a very interesting place. I went, as I said earlier on, I went for a coffee with a lady who I met at networking, really nice lady. And we were talking about, she actually works in social media. She's a marketer, so she works in all of that world. And she was talking about the number of people out there just telling people what to do, and therefore making them feel. I saw a quote this morning and I wanted to shout it. I nearly put a snidey comment, but I decided not to. It said something like, Well, I'm going to find it. Bear with. And I can remember who posted it, so I know I can find it. Because I can find this person's content and I'll find that quote. Oh God, isn't the wall where, you know, when you start searching, that's a very distracting space, isn't it? Here we go. Oh, here we go. We either make ourselves miserable or we make ourselves happy. The amount of work is the same. Like if you're feeling low, like I was this morning, and you've got it's actually a quote by Carlos Castaneda, whose book I was about to start listening to, but I might not now. Because what is that saying? It's your fault. That's what it's saying. How awful is that? That kind of quote is toxic positivity. Because people reading that are saying to themselves, I'm making myself miserable. What a cruel thing to say to somebody. Cruel. You know, that, yes, I'm saying that's how it works. It's thought created reality. But I am not saying you're doing it and you need to get a grip. And that's what I read when I read that. We either make ourselves miserable or we make ourselves happy. The amount of work is the same. Anyway. Yes, Kathy, you get the comparison trap. We all do. Start to feel rubbish, not measuring up on social media. It's all, it is outside in thinking. But the thing to know about social media is the whole damn thing's made up. The whole damn thing is an illusion in itself. It's its own it's its own illusion. You know, there are people posting happy, plappy pictures that are just not true. I think I've told this story before. In fact, I know I have. But I remember being by a pool once and watching this woman with a child. Child was all beautiful swimming, little girls, beautiful swimming costume, bright, you know, whatever, looking gorgeous. And the woman was like taking pictures and selfies with the little girl in the pool in a little rubber ring and everything. And she literally spent 5 minutes, 10 minutes in the pool taking all these pictures. And you know, I don't know where the pictures were going, but I strongly suspect they were going on social media. And she then left. The little girl that was it. The little girl wanted to stay in the pool, but she wasn't going to stay in the pool because the mum had other things to do. She just put the child in the pool to take the pictures. That's, you know, it's all an illusion. It's all just made up, and it's us. We're buying into it. We're buying into some imagined reality. And I can see, and I get it, Hannah. You know, you look at that and you think, yeah, my life's a bit rubbish. It's not good enough. It should be better than this. And it's not nice. So, yeah, you didn't like how the post made you feel about yourself or other people and judging. Yeah, it does encourage judgment, doesn't it? And now you're at the point and thoughts like you once had are no longer there and you no care to improve anything. Yeah, or judge. That's beautiful, Hannah. What a lovely thing to see that is, because that releases you from so much. Yeah, and it can be confusing, Carol, because we think we're looking at real life and we're just not. We're just not. It isn't real at all. It's definitely not real. It's a total illusion. So, yeah. That's lovely, Jess. You have too few pictures with your child because you don't want to lose the moment by adding the camera. I love that. That's really good. Yeah, I have a lot less pictures of my second when he was little, mainly because I just didn't have the time or the energy to take pictures. But yeah, I think there's, and how many pictures have we got that we never look at? Whereas you giving your child 100% of your presence is it's just beautiful. I tried to catch Bruce's little boy, my children in the 20s, but Bruce's little boy is only 11, and I try to catch them sometimes when they're just together and present together. without Bruce needing to think about that. And then I show him the pictures afterwards, which is nice. But yeah, it's lovely, is that, Jess? Thank you for sharing. It's beautiful. Right, I could smell food. Oh, excuse me, I'm yawning again. I am very tired today. Actually, I've still got a client to see at 7 o'clock. So yeah, and if you want to be a client, actually, this is one of my special clients for my assignment. A very lucky lady who's I say very lucky lady. That sounds so vain. I didn't mean it to, but I'm actually loving it. I have 3 mentees who I'm working with on their businesses at the moment because I'm doing this training in which is more focused around business, and it's really lovely. Yeah, sometimes your memory would like more pictures. Totally get that, Jess. Definitely. Yeah, but maybe you just keep making more of the moments, and then you don't have any time to sit around looking at pictures because you're just enjoying the moment. I love that. I love that idea of presence. Yeah, so I'm doing some business mentoring with 3 lovely ladies, one in America, one in Africa, and one in the UK, supporting them to grow their businesses and develop their businesses. So and they're getting to work with me free at the moment, but I will be offering some more services around business mentoring going forward. So I'm calling myself a business and life mentor. You don't have to have a business to work with me, but I would love to work with more people around that. So I'll be looking at what kind of services I'm going to offer around that soon. And mentoring is great because it's a beautiful combination of, coaching things out of people and helping people to get their own solutions, but also giving them some support, not advice, but kind of suggestions and things you could try, and connecting them with people who might be helpful, that kind of thing. And it's a really enjoyable process. So I'm going to go because I need to eat, and then I've got this client to talk to at 7 p.m. PST. So I didn't manage to schedule a live for tomorrow because I just forgot. I could make up some really. I was about to. I just forgot. If I don't do them on Friday, I tend to then forget to do them. So there's just one more. Let me just get my. There's one more this week, which is on Friday. So I've only done a couple this week, but I think that's okay. And so the topic will be to be confirmed. It's on Friday at 1:11 p.m. BST. And it's this episode 7 of Sustainable Calm. Topic to be confirmed. And I'm really enjoying these sessions where the topic just emerges. And of course, I do have a group which is called Power. There's my perfectionism where I have to have a capital letter. Powered by Calm. So the group's called Powered by Calm. Do join us there. I tend to put in there if I do need to cancel a session, but I also am trying to use the chat a little bit more after realising that was the place to actually communicate with you best. As I've already mentioned to an army, this is going to go onto my free space on the internet where you can watch it, and there's a link in my bio where you can check that out. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for the donations. Thank you so much for the conversation. And you know what? Thank you for the love that you share between each other, and that I feel loved when I'm here at two. Excuse me, hiccups now. And I feel held by all of you. So it's absolutely beautiful. And do reach out if you are resonating with what I'm saying and you would like to see this more deeply. There is a link in my link in bio where you can connect with me in a number of different ways. And you can also join the group and connect with me there too. So lots of love, everyone. Take lots of care. And I will see you on Friday, I hope. Lots of love.